Ole, lake entrance family trip so nice. So nice, so nice. So cần walk ang nu per pot nu mà thì khóc mấy. Tiếng anh tí hàng hi vật bò lắm tiếng anh vật to con thế 10 liền đâu chỉ khăn nha. Model à cái lo mang chơi này. So lại sao tí chúng mình phiếm na. Cái bối bắc này nè. Fishing quan tí này so lấy đó nó so họ có khả năng chắc thôi sao. Hi aqua nia lake entrance aqua chu hi di la nia an chami island kan mu so apia son ti finet kam ma beach ma hei tu chung in fiam na nia helai kan pu chu sangha ma nia ariel zong zong mai so. Lake entrance beach, main beach ania. Oi ni ko thabak lawa. Ni dang a chon helai hi surfing. Tui chung surfing an nei thin na hun ania. Nu. Yay! Ming tei pon wa ma ti khop mai. Nia ruat la don hong u. La. tuna kanan kalnaka Gippsland Lake ania lahi tuifin ya ta pona nia tuifon te alo lian but pi mai ani. This is a lake and that is an ocean.
What's the sea? Oh, is that real?
Huh?
Is that real?
Which
That.
which the birds? Of course they're real. Mi lung bula adum ho hi chengkol vak an nia chengkol ti tui kep vak an ni so ti so na hu thayang khu mi athang khu ti finiat dongi ti finiat pona lai chonin in chel na jong ro ti kho in tu palang tui fo na ran dang dei don nia.
Bring the boat around slowly before we get too much closer there. We don't go out through the entrance, we spend a bit of time there to observe.
Katkal don lo ni chu
I've got a few birds around feeding, lots of great cormorants, some of the marine cormorants as well. Seals on the rocks.
Chel ro before na lian nia.
Seals.
Told you.
Might even see a few seals in the water. Please no clapping, whistling, yelling at the seals.
Oh, saw seal.
Just to look at them, they don't like sharp, loud noises.
Saw seal.
Even though they have to put up with my voice.
Đây đây. Anh tiếc mình rồi ngắn tỉ khả sa ra ngắn tỉ mi. Chung à khăn tục vật lắm trong khăn em thấy về thấu cả. Wow. Si làm này đúng bố đi kẹp bắn này bố cả. Thì hian lưỡi cá mà hian đi nắn om tar đua à. Nama poko na noma savane.
Where the breaking waves are out behind us, don't be surprised to see seals in amongst those breaking waves. They like to feed on fish that have been washed out through the entrance with the run out tide.
So lại so sakan man. Ay tuisin na tin po na ne so lại so. Seal ho in saba sakan man. Wow. Ay pon chu liam takan ni.
Just sit here quietly, just to see if there's any dolphin activity, not only within the entrance here, but also out behind us there. As I said, we don't go out in the ocean, but sometimes you see them coming when they come back into the lakes. Come back and have another look at the seals. I just want to sweep over towards the other side here.
Mi in seal kan boy pui la in alo impossible mai ni chang tunu hi chang tunu lo post char chara chang tu pa le chang tunu
video phải. Biết cả là tôi sẽ nói là
tha kan la velop wow.
Well, there's a few seals in the breaking waves there in the middle. It's almost as if they're surfing. In some cases, I think they are.
Oh, so lại so.
I like to get into the peaks of the waves and just surf along.
Hello, here and go
They got full tummies and they don't have anything to do other than sleep. Friends and swim and duck and dive and jump.
So lại sao bỏ tắt lỡ rồi so lại sao thế nhá đây
Too bad if the fishing boat's gone there.
Fishing boat coming in from offshore there. It would have been a bit bumpy for them out there last night.
à
Not too bad out in Eastern Australia at the moment. I know it's a fairly windy sort of
going
day,
out.
but wouldn't stop the fishing boats from working.
so oh sakaman tu yan lo tut may ni he anileng ha chu một lệ sakaman sao đi nhá
네. 왜 얘나?
so before là so là chuẩn đâu lâu so
It's looking pretty quiet in regards to dolphin activity. We always use the entrance lights. We're going to come back and have a look at the entrance again a little later before
그럼
we finish.
내가 보면서
Also, dolphins can be spotted anywhere on our journey. Seals more common down around the mountains.
Seal surfing.
thế là yanin siêu thôi sakaman an zuang before kara so nan zuang so chi na oh hey
Bên lồng u mà đi livestream.
oh sahat man ra wow
It's awesome.
yeah
Look at that.
hey before kara here
Wow.
hey này
So the great cormorants, they're resting. So that means they've already had some sleep done. When they hold their wings out to dry their wings out because they swim underwater.
thế là in sahat over
That's a
there
sure sign that they're ready to have a bit of a rest, and they'll wait until later in the afternoon and they'll have a bit more fishing. Little young seal there, just on the rocks on the left there. We normally get them from about 12 months up to about 5 years old. Don't get adult seals here, these are all juvenile. People often ask me why the seals on the west side, not the east side. Human activity. People can walk to that over there. On the east side, if they just leave them on the rocks and not insist on having to climb down and try and pat them and do silly things like that, seals can be quite happy to stay there, but they just get too much interaction. So it's very rare for people to get up here. This is a peninsula. It is mainland, but it's 30 kilometres of mainland coastline with an average width of about 300 metres. The only one ended is by boat. There's no road access. So we'll be running up behind the Bulldog Peninsula at 9 Mile Beach, which is on either side of the entrance. We're actually at the eastern end. In a tidal zone, it's pretty obvious there. That's the difference between low and high tide, and we are very close to low tide. 21 metre rise and fall.
vlog kia quay mỗi vlog Mr. Vlog à
vlog kita cetil lang kanin lang
We do exactly the same thing every day. So if there's any seals here that haven't seen us before, they generally look pretty surprised, and then they'll watch the other seals. And if they see the other seals don't react, then they just go back to sleep. Bit different if other boats that they're not used to turn up. Sometimes they'll all get in the water. Intertidal zones are like a garden. Really special ecology. All around the planet there's intertidal zones, whether it's a shallow beach, or whether it's a sheer rock wall, or a man-made environment like this. Barnacles, mussels, oysters, limpets, sea snails.
alung ahianin hay abuli kepkat kaniya
Cabbage weed as they call it. Little bits of kelp there, a couple of other different types of seaweed, algae. Lines, they were used to run steel wheel trolleys. Building materials, they built the walls from the inside out. Remember, they left the sand in the middle when they did that. And then they'd run steam cranes, steam hammers and steam shovels along to do the jobs they needed to do, then bring them back, put them in a corral and then do it all over again. On both sides they did that. To begin our journey, we've got a choice of two different directions. So we're taking the Hopeton Channel that gets us up into the coastal park nice and early.
Wait
Still a
there.
few
so sava sava
Ça va, ça va.
sava so sava tai lo churu ming tai po no ma tilu tuk nu bây tên nó so sava so lại xuất sập phải cần mất 5 phút chứ
signs that had the Age newspaper in Melbourne. It's had 6 owners since then. There's an old slip shed there. They used to have the rails for the slipway there. There's plenty of slipways in areas like Painesville and Lakes Entrance and that now to take boats out. Even though it's quite an historic area, that's why they retain it, because the old boat shed's over 100 years old. Beautiful example of tidal wetlands here. Speaking of kangaroos, there's an old airfield that goes all the way across the island. That was decommissioned in the 1990s, but look along the scrub there and you'll see kangaroos lying down, and also where the old runway is, you can see kangaroos there as well. Now, don't you get an idea what the colours they are when they're in their natural environment, eh? They blend in really well.
Australia rama larger kangaroo
As I said, they really like to feed on the grass when it's wet. Now, they're not stuck on the islands. Kangaroos are really good swimmers. They can swim from island to island and back to the mainland whenever they feel the need. When I say mainland, I mean behind us, not the mainland north of the islands, because they can't climb up the side of the hills. These animals come out of the coastal park environment. So they're beach dwellers. But they're happy as long as there's plenty of grass and it's nice and safe. And that's a populated island there. The people that operate the old homestead as an old world retreat resort, they compete with about 25 to 30 kangaroos that live on there as well. So slowly but surely the old airfield's growing over, and ultimately if they need to come in with aircraft, they just use helicopters. Transition period, and a lot of birds will begin to arrive that have been elsewhere. If you're a fish around here at the moment. There's a homestead up there. It's on a big sand dune. It's a natural dune. It's taken thousands of years just for that to form. It's because the water behind the island's very shallow, and when it gets really windy, we're on the coast, it gets windy for 8 months of the year, and sand gets brought up into the tops of the little waves and gets hooked up into the air and gets blown into the middle of the island. I wonder if this is going to stir the kangaroos up.
So, like in para sa kangaroo ni lo and the kangaroo may sabihan lo na no ma. Kangaroo hitet mel yo ma se abula chuan shin tia deu thon ni lo ma ni.
trucks, freight trains,
White
and
Belly
forget
Eagle
about
dito
what's in
niya sa Malar
A little bit of fencing infrastructure.
White Belly Eagle
Nga tùy chu an oma an man zel an ei.
eh
Ke mo chu thil no lo.
Now, some of our local pelicans have been seen as far away as Lake Eyre in central South Australia, the mouth of the Coorong, Murray Valley, the Murray River, the Darling.
wow itu nan leu long aten nan kalbe la di hi eng hogi oh Ding dong ten tuyên hẳn đều phê là nhỉ với tên là ding dong ten tuyên là xì lâu cả wow hey 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 wow you have to hold fast I'm taking videos.
Eh?
I'm taking videos.
Ai.
Kani Yan Tui phone hi alian khop maya Itia wa hin chana lang fia vak lo mai thaya he la mi ai si thau chu Nay ai hian in tam ka tak hian in lewa ruala rualin hian an lewa ni
So this is what we call the summer autumn colony. It's usually about 15 to 30 animals. In the winter we can expect anything up from 75 to 200. And of course occasionally there'll be chickens too, which is quite hard. It happens when the flight comes in and people can see something. That's called a rafter seal. The rafter they spend 95% of their time feeding their adults and then with the rest of the lakes. Like this is great, fresh wise. Normally they get strength in them, so they're always looking down for predators, like sharks, for instance, or
wow oh see I'm low shock với chữ căn bản thôi à dolphin không rồi à dolphin chua lâu đi mình thấy wow ăn uống về lấy thực sao hey 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 fiam về nó sao ấy thì lên nó chứ tuy lâu là bút tani hay không ấy anh thấy được từ thế so sánh à mình bakal beli tong. Lagi chân kata lebu beli ne. Lagi kan sirah ini lewat. Yan hay ding lam hi mishing kal polo na niya tahem ran sa te sava ten tama pe lam so mishing kal theina ni bang salama san ran san chol velo ti ani yan halam hi mishing kal polo na niya boite silai no hay lungkar so sil so thatche to kina mutso
Bit of a gap, it's about an hour and a half difference on both ends because of the small gap here. It takes a
How
while
do
to
I
catch up.
Thấu
Probably about half an hour.
Em đó so với tê so sil so
And this little one's keeping an eye on us. This one may not know. A little bit wary, so you'll look at its mate. Look around and see what the other seals reckon.
với tê của em sil so thấu rồi mút tỏ sú
You may have never been here before. But the other ones around are not.
nice to see you dra
Not petite she, I should say. The other
I
ones
love
around
you.
aren't too worried about it, so nervous.
baby seal I love you tila baby seal baby seal I love you dra le
You see those beautiful whiskers, they're very important to seals. They don't always have their eyes open and it's not always light under the water. It can have a lot of oxygen in it, in around the surf, a lot of sand. It can be dark. If they swim down 100, 150, 200 metres, it's pretty well dark. And in the dark waters around the channels and everything like that. And if they get into a feeding frenzy,
Ming
there's
Te.
a lot of other
Ming Te, Papa lo ente, Papa lo ente. Vậy tên là?
They keep their eyes closed.
Nunu
Whiskers will feel the wake from the fish as they're trying to get away, so they'll zone in on that wake and they'll swim up and they'll get the fish. They don't have to have their eyes open.
Ming Te pon nuam at ngày mấy
Protecting their eyes. Things happen very quickly.
bye bye tiro le seal ka vậy tê bye bye seal ka bye bye
6 or 7 knots, that's a big whack in the
see you
eyes.
later tila seal ka
Protect their eyes. So that's why they have those beautiful whiskers, and they roll their whiskers when they're relaxing on the surface of the water. They bring their pectoral fins up and they roll their whiskers, they keep them nice and straight.
ano em
I'm going to use some parrots to fly over us there. There's an enormous amount of parrots around here as well. So many land-based birds. Just in this area alone, we can have up to 7
Ming Te.
species of marine birds alone.
vậy tê Nunu
Every now and then, land-based birds.
hello bye bye lo tiro le bye bye
There's plenty of different parrots.
bye bye
About a third of the different parrots show up around here. Cockatoos as well. Major Mitchells, galahs, grass parrots, rosellas, rainbow
Video ka na nang
So that little bridge there is a public viewing area, so you can walk down the lane from the shop around the corner up and over the bridge. Usually first thing in the morning or later in the afternoon. Don't be afraid to ask the staff in the shop if they know when boats are coming in. They love it when you come in to watch them unload. Here's a modern slipway that's a straddle lift machine. It drives out on the two jetties. They have extra straps for the bigger, heavier vessels. Lower the straps in the water, you park on the straps, up you go.
นี่ลงมันเสียมนะ
Yeah, good work done on the boat. So important to be able to do work on boats while they're in the water. And the Tommy Norton there, the large vessel, that's a sand removal machine that removes sand in the channels if it builds up a little bit too much, and also outside the entrance on the open bar. This makes it a bit safer to come in when the weather's bad. It's 200 kilometres in either direction to another safe port. The access into the Port of Gippsland Lakes is crucial. It's important that may be travelling along on 400 kilometres of coastline. It's either down at Port Rosepool or Albert, Port Albert. That's 200 kilometres to the west, down at Port Inlet.
15 cái qua Sarah so ở trong chỉ đấy
200 kilometres to the east. Get stuck out there in bad weather, and the weather will change within 10 hours. It's nice to know you've got somewhere to go if it gets really bad and you can get into the Port of Gippsland Lakes to
so
shop.
ở Lake Entrance
That's
qua
what people do.
Long Sơn là đi
Big or small boat.
cookie si tui hi tilu tu ka ei tuam mai ni hi Koite
So we're just coming up on the end of our journey now. Melinda and I'd like to thank you all for cruising on board Lonstar with us today. We hope you've enjoyed your time out on the beautiful Gippsland Lakes.
Bye-bye.
Friends and family, accommodation,
Lulu,
houses,
bye-bye.
anyone else you think might be interested in and about the beautiful lakes, Lakes Entrance, and of course Lonsdale Cruises, and we're sure we'll see you all again sometime. So just be a little patient as we make our way into the mooring. It's going to take a short moment to get the boat firmly tied in its little pen. Once we get the vessel secure, I'll let you know when it's safe to depart. Please don't try and push off on any poles or infrastructure as we move in.